Hello everyone, thanks to Lúdica. I'm Miguel, Oliva, and I'll be joined by Aida, Villaécija and Marina, Pujadas. We are going to present a serious game for raising awareness of digital inclusion and climate challenges. We are part of the Transmedia Catalonia Research Group at the Autonomous University of Barcelona. The video game is framed in the goal SO4 to effectively communicate the impacts of climate change and the potential risks associated with extreme weather events in the framework of CIS. This is one of the main goals of the Clear Climate Project, which tries to get climate information to be accessible for as many people as possible. At the same time, all of us are working in the WELL project, and this project tries to make cultural events or products, particularly video games, accessible for everyone. And so we thought that the creation of this video game was the perfect intersection with these two projects. And then it was very helpful to have the support of the Clear Climate, because we could develop some research studies and collaborate with different European institutions, companies and universities. And they helped a lot to create the final product that we're presented. This is more or less a final step in some other efforts that we have carried out in the research group. So for example, we have a board game about accessibility from Greensen, a card game about communication accessibility from the ENACT project, and then Alice and the Three Queens with linguistic accessibility from WELL. The game was created following this methodology, which is the user-centered design. To begin with, the first part was basically identifying the intended users for the video game, and we thought that it could be interesting to address the game for those people that might not know much about climate issues and accessibility. And then we performed an interview with some experts in order to have a general view of the video game. So we made some decisions regarding basically the narrative or the concrete climate emergencies that we wanted to address. Then we started creating the actual video game. That entailed familiarizing with the development tool, and then writing the dialogues as well, and deciding the forms of interaction that the players would have. And then for the final step, we conducted a focus group so that people could actually try the video game and give us feedback.
So thank you, Miguel, for introducing the methodology. Now I will start talking about the initial design, the first step of the methodology, which is based on the interview of experts. So we interviewed several experts to get feedback on our video game proposal. In particular, we had two climatologists from the University of Novi Sad Faculty of Sciences, UNS-EMF, as experts, which helped us make sure that the climate-related content was relevant and also realistic. We wanted to know whether the game worked not only as a story, but also as a tool to raise awareness about climate change and accessibility. We discussed the climate change issues, the main climate change issues in the game, and a total of 6 different topics, as you can see in the figure in this slide, which are climate change, game scenarios, inclusive design, tone and language, and finally, target audience. The main takeaways from the interview with experts is shown in this slide, but you should note that much more comments were gathered and are not, of course, included in this presentation. Concerning climate change and game scenarios, the experts suggested that we should include realistic scenarios such as, for example, floods, wildfires, drought, and frost. And also that awareness must be balanced with hope and practical action. The content was designed to include different characters with diverse characteristics, following an inclusive design approach so that many people and different people can feel represented in the video game. The experts strongly supported this inclusive design and approach as a core strength of the video game. They also recommended keeping the language simple and making the game suitable for children and teenagers without making it too childish. And in general, their feedback confirmed that our proposal has potential to raise awareness while still offering a hopeful and constructive message. And now Marina will keep explaining our video game. The floor is yours.
So thank you, Aida. I will explain now a bit of the software that we used and about the game itself. We used the program Wolf RPG Editor, which is a free engine designed to create complex role-playing games. It was developed by Smoking Wolf Silver Second, and the main characteristic and most important for us is that you can create games through this software without knowing how to code. It has a fairly steep learning curve because you have to learn how the codes that already come pre-made within the system work and how you can combine them without creating bugs or the game crashing. But once you have learned this, it's fairly simple and it's very complete. The style of this program is pixel art, which you will see later when we show you the game. So now moving on to the game itself, our video game is called Tale, and it has 5 main characters. Each one is the protagonist of a specific situation or chapter. So there are also 5 spaces within this game. There's firstly Tale Office, which is an agency of animals that help humans and animals both in climate crisis. In this office, you will move as the commander, who is a cat, and it will give you information about the mission you're going to undertake. It will introduce you the agent, the Tale agent, who will solve this mission, and also lets you explore a bit the world building of the game. The actual chapters relating to climate crises and accessibility are 4. The first one happens in a hospital during a pandemic, where easy language is the main accessibility focus. The main character is a fox and has to learn about easy language in order to explain well the information about this pandemic. The second chapter happens in a village that has suffered a snowslide that has provoked a blackout, and the main character, a rabbit, has to learn about sign language and other tools for accessibility for people who are deaf or hard of hearing. The third chapter happens in a town that has been flooded, and the main accessibility focus is motor accessibility, with the main character being an otter. And finally, there's a forest that suffers a forest fire, and audio description becomes a focus point for the main character, who is a dog, and will have to use this. Now I will show you the trailer of our video game so that you can see a bit how it is. So now moving on to the focus group that we conducted to evaluate our prototype. We had 5 participants who were between 25 and 33 years old, and they were not regular players, although they had played sometimes a game. The participants played the game before coming to the focus group, and it had a semi-structured discussion format. We had some questions to prompt discussion. The session was recorded and we took simultaneously notes. The prompts covered several topics: the usability of the game to see if the controls worked well, if it was intuitive. We asked for suggestions on what to improve. We asked them if they thought our target audience, the users' needs were met, and their opinion of the educational content about climate crisis and accessibility. The main points they said was that as a suggestion they wanted a longer tutorial and more guidance, which we have already implemented. They wanted a more elaborate goal building, which this will be implemented in the future in a version 2. And they wanted more deeper knowledge about the education content we were explaining. As positive aspects, they were very happy about the animal characters. They liked our dialogues. They thought they were very humorous, and they liked also the gamification of accessibility and climate through the quest we included within the game. And as for target audiences, they thought it was directed to mainly children and teenagers. It was our intention, but they also thought it was very suitable for adults.
Thank you, Marina. Thank you, Aida. Moving to the conclusions. We think that this intersection between climate issues and accessibility is worth exploring. We think it's very, very interesting, particularly given that there's this need for climate communication to be accessible to everyone. Then we think the user-centered design approach was effective in order to develop this tool, this serious game that is not only entertaining but also capable of transmitting information to the audience that we wanted to target. And based on the feedback that we received, we think that the resulting video game has a big potential to raise awareness of the issues that we were dealing with, so the climate emergencies and also accessibility options. So we definitely think this is a contribution, and we hope that we can continue working on this line. Thank you, everyone. That was all on our part. So the game is available in the itch.io platform. It's free. You can access it very easily. Here, for example, you have the QR code, so you can actually use it to get the video game. And we encourage everyone to download the video game and play it, and give us all the feedback that you can think of. So thanks again, and we will be answering any questions that you might have.